Hi guys, it's JT and welcome back to another episode of the Jewelry Making 101 series. If you're new here, welcome. Trust me, you're going to love it here. And to my OG subscribers, you guys, you know I got mad love for you. Thank you guys for watching, for subscribing, for liking my posts, and for also commenting. On today's episode, I'll be showing you guys how to make this gorgeous, but simple earring that I have on. You don't have to make this exact length. You don't have to use the exact materials that I've used or color of materials that I've used. You just have to do something that speaks to you based on the techniques I'll be teaching you today. On today's episode, I'm going to touch on about 3 different techniques. I'm going to show you guys how to open and close jump rings. I'm also going to show you guys how to make basic wire wrapping and also make a simple look, because they are all essential to create this stunning earring. Just sit down, relax, and let's get into it.
So for our tools, what do we need? We need a jump ring opener or chain nose pliers. You need about 2 of those. If you don't have 2, you can do 1. You can use 1. You can manage to do it 1. 1 will be fine. We'd also need a cutter to cut our wires, our chains. Then we'd also need a round nose pliers. We also need a round nose pliers. You can also use your bail maker like this one, which I also call my round nose plier, but I think it's called the bail making plier or something like that. So you can also use this one. So we'll move up to the next up will be our materials. Before I go to our materials, there's something else you would also need, which is not compulsory, but it's also nice to have, especially in bead making. That will be this gorgeous bead design board. So you use this to kind of visualize what you want to make, and in this case I'll kind of do that so you guys can see, but it's not compulsory. It's something that you can just decide to have. So the next thing I'll be showing you guys are the materials that we'll be using today. So first off is this chain. Now I got this chain from Shein. It's supposed to be a stainless steel chain, and this is what it looks like. You can use any size for yours, and this is currently what I have, so this is what I'm going to use. I would have preferred a smaller chain, but I do not have one at the moment, so I'll be using this one. And the next thing on our list will be our beads. I know I said you guys should get 4 beads, but I'm using just 2 beads today. It's just 2 beads. 2 beads will be enough, but if you want to do 4, that's fine too. Once you learn the basics, you'll be able to do that on your own. And after that, what we'll need again will be our earring findings. And for the earring findings, I got this from a store. I can't remember the name right now, so when I'm editing the video, I'm going to show you the name of this. I'm going to put the name of the store up above. So you're just going to use either this one, or you make your own earring wire, your own gear wire. But for now, I'm just going to ask you to use this one. We'll learn how to make hair wires later on in this course. So this is what the ball pin with loop looks like. It is very small, is what I got, and there is a loop for you to attach your chain, your jump rings, etc. to it. Then last but not the least, what would need, I would also need wires. So you can use your gold field wire, sterling silver, copper wire like I have here, any wire that you can get. So we're using the 20 gauge wire and also the 18 gauge wire. In case your wire is not in gauge, this 20 gauge means 0.8 millimeters, while the 18 gauge means 1.0 millimeters. And let's go ahead into our video. So guys, before we start, I'll have to teach excuse me please, I'll have to teach you some techniques that you would need for wire work. I know I don't want you to get tired and bored of the classes. That's why I'm teaching the techniques plus a project together. So first technique I'm going to teach you is how to open and close jump rings. And first, to make your jump rings, in case you did not buy your pre-made jump rings, you would have to use a mandrel. So this can be art and craft mandrels that it comes in different sizes. I'll try to look for pictures and put it up for you to see, or you can just use a pencil, a pen, something tiny, not too big, depending on the size of jump rings you're trying to make. Now in this case, I'm trying to make something not too large and not too small, so I'll be using my Bill making plier. So what I'm going to do is roll my so I'm using this size, this second smallest size, and what I'm going to do is roll it around like so. So I think I'll be needing about four of these jump rings, so I'll be rolling just four. Now when you want to cut your jump rings, you're going to get your wire cutter, and using this flush side, that's where it's going to face where you're cutting. So I'm just going to cut this excess off first because I feel like it is not flush. I want it to be flush, so I'm going to cut that off. So the next thing I want to cut is this second place, so as to separate my jump rings. So what I'm going to do now is cut this here using this flush side at the opposite side. I'm going to cut this side. Because I always love the two sides of my my jump rings to be flush. I'm going to try to make sure it's flush now. So I'm just going to repeat that process again until I get all the jump rings that I need. So I'm just going to cut off this side, try to move this one. Then, excuse me, I'm kind of struggling with my long nails. But yeah, I'm just going to make it work. Yeah, so this is it. So you can decide to cut it any way you like, but this is just what I like to do. You can decide to leave the hot side. So my problem is usually with this it's not flush, but this part, I don't really like how it looks, but yeah, you can work with it too. So I'm just going to use that. So just going to show you the two different ones I have. So now once we cut our jump rings, I'm going to quickly show you guys how to open and close your jump ring. So you might want to watch this part again. So when you are opening and closing jump rings, there are these rules. You do not open them like this. Sorry, don't open them like this. What you're trying to do is to wiggle it back and forth like so. So you're going to wiggle it like this. So you wiggle it like this to open your jump ring, and when you want to close your jump ring, you also wiggle it again to close it. So you close it until you hear a clicking sound that the two wires have hit each other. I don't know if you can get this. I'll try to put this close to the microphone to see if you guys would hear the sound. So I don't know if you heard that sound, but that is just how to open and close a jump ring. I would show you again so that you see it. To open and close your jump ring, you open by wiggling back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You open and close by wiggling back and forth. Sorry if the camera wasn't. You just, one thing you have to do is make sure you're careful so you don't peel your wires, especially if you're using art and craft wires like I am. So as you can see in this instance, my wires are beginning to have scratches on it because of handling it. So you try to handle it with care, or you can also get a jump ring opener. That kind of like, that helps with, it helps with the to reduce the amount of scratches that your jump rings have at the end of the day. So you are wiggling back and forth and trying to close it together until you hear a clacking sound like I just did. Yeah, so that tells you that your jump ring is closed. Next thing we're going to do is to learn to wrap our wires. So to wrap, in sense that I'm trying to wrap around a bead, so I'm coming and get a bead to use first. Before we do our wire wrapping, you insert your bead into your wire. You try and create a you're trying to create an head pin for your wire to move in. So you're just going to turn like so, just to create the head pin. So there are different ways you want to create your head pin. You can try to make it like triangular or anything, but this is the easiest and fastest way to make your head pin, and this is really fine. So that's okay. So once you've done that, the next thing we're trying to do now is to create the wrapping effect. So in case you're using craft wires and you don't mind wasting your wires, you can just cut an amount. So you just assume that that's your head pin. So once you cut that amount, you have more room to move your thing easily. So when you're making your wrapping, you have to make sure that this side and where the loop is going to be facing, they're facing the same side. That means they're in the same direction, just to make it look nice. It's not like it's compulsory, but it just makes it look really nice. So I'm going to do that now, and I'm just going to, so in case you don't want to use your round nose plier to bend it, you can also use your flat nose or your chain nose plier. So once you put that at a 90-degree angle, the next thing you're going to do is just, so where you're going to put the round nose plier on your wire depends on the size of your loop. So let me make my loop a bit bigger. So you're going to hold it. So you're just going to hold your this is how you're going to hold your round nose plier. Then once you hold your round nose plier like that, or any way that you think is going to be comfortable for you, you just put it not totally at the end, like a little bit forward, then you move to this side like so, and you adjust this long tail with your other finger just to push it to the side. That way you're minimizing the amount of pressure you have on the wire with your plier, and you're reducing the amount of scratches that would come on the wire. So the next thing you're going to do is to hold this down with your chain nose or flat nose plier, and if you can use your finger, you can do that too, just to be careful that you're not holding it too hard. Then you just wrap your wire around. Just try to make sure you are wrapping it close to the other wire as much as possible, just so that it will look neat and appear professional. So you can just cut, once you've gotten the amount that you need, you just cut the excess like so. I'm struggling because I'm trying to make sure that this recording is in the middle, so I'm watching from my monitor and it's a bit hard to do that. So once you do that, just adjust the excess tail by closing it up just by pressing it in. Sorry, this is so much struggle. Yeah, so you just press it in to keep the excess tail inside. So there you have it. You have your wire wrapped. So can you see they're on the same angle? Can you see? This is what I was talking about. Just to make sure it looks neat. It's not compulsory. You can try to do it opposite, but I just like when it looks aligned like this. So now you can just add your chain, add your wire, just do anything you want to do with this other part, and you have your earring. This is another way that I've done. This is not exactly wire wrapping, but this is how I made my head pin, eye pin. I think it's eye pin, not head pin rather. So this is how I made my eye pin. Instead of rolling it around, I just created a loop with this and I attached it. Next thing we're going to learn is how to create your loop. So you get your wire of your choice, of your size, depending on the size of your bead. Like I told you guys in the previous video, like your choice of your wire will depend on a number of factors: the size of the bead, the overall design you're trying to make, and so on and so forth. If you do not know what I'm talking about, go back to my previous video and watch it. So now to make your loop, what you just have to do is determine the size of the loop you're trying to create, and from there making sure that your wire is at the end, or your plier is at the end of the wire. You hold your wire, like your plier, like this, and you just hold it to the end of the wire and you turn it to the opposite direction. So once you turn it, to adjust it, you just adjust it like so, and now you have your loop. So this is your loop. Now there are different methods to do this. There are different ways people do this, but this is how I do mine. I feel like it's faster and it's very, very effective to do. So I would repeat that stage again for you guys to see. This time it will be closer than the first video. So we're going to create a loop to create the loop. You get your wire, make sure your plier is at the end of the wire like so, holding your plier like this. You put it like so and you just turn it. Now you can also use your finger to help to push your wire to kind of create that effect. Then you adjust what you've done with your plier and just push it to the back like this, just slightly, and you close it up like this, or you close it like you're opening your offering, and here you have it. You have your loop. Now that we know the basics, in case you're not getting it well, please go back to watch the videos and you would understand it. Trust me, it's simple to learn. So now that we have it, we're going to go straight into the video of the day, how to make a gorgeous simple earring. Now the first thing we're going to do is try to determine the length of our earring. I don't know, if you know me, you know that I love long earrings, and so I'm going to try to raise this up. Give me a minute. What you're going to do is determine the size of the chain that you need. So you're going to get your chain. I don't want it too long. When you're measuring your earring size, it's very important to also take into consideration your bead size, what it measures. So this measures about 1 inch, and so okay, not 1 inch, it measures almost 1 inch. Yeah, so you just take note of this size compared to your total or final amount. The size of your length of your earpin is negligible because it's really small, so you don't have to consider that particularly. So let's say I'm trying to go for let me see how many inches. 3.5 inches for my earring. So I would say that this part of the size has gone off. So the next thing I want to do now is determine what will be the length of my chain. So I'm just going to get this, and you also have to consider that you're making wire wrapping and you're also going to use your jump rings, so you don't have to totally use this. So you can just cut it here. So before it completes, it completes a 3.5 inch, so you're going to cut it here. So we're going to cut off this side, so we'll take note of that, and you cut off the one that you do not need. So you cut it off. Yeah, Wow, that's stainless steel. That's really hard to. So I'm going to have to get a memory wire cutter because it seems like my cutter isn't cutting this one because it's stainless steel. So I'll be using the memory wire cutter. So now I have my memory wire cutter and I'm just going to try to cut it now with this one. And that's it. That's cut it up. That's why I love memory wire cutter. So now when you use chains like this, if you're using like gold chains, gold field, and you're able to solder, so you can cut it and just solder it back so you don't waste your material. In this case, I think I can still use it if I close up the jump ring. Yeah, so if you close up the jump ring well, you're able to still use it. We just have to repeat the same thing and get the same amount of. So in this case, you don't have to measure it again. Just count it: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I just need 6 of that. So I'm just going to cut out 6. And I'll be back. Okay, so now that I have my wires, I am going to get right into it. So the first thing that I would say that I would like to do now is just to attach my jump ring to my chain and my loop on my earring. So the next thing I'm going to do now is just to open and close the jump ring like I taught earlier. So the next thing we're going to do is open and close our jump rings. So to do so, like I mentioned earlier, you're going to make sure I'm trying to make sure this is very close. Okay. You're going to wiggle it, like I said. So you wiggle to open it like so. Excuse me. Whew. It's refusing to. I don't know why it's refusing to. Okay. So once you have opened, it doesn't have to open completely. So just open it slightly like so. You attach it to your loop on your earring like this. Just make sure the loop on your earring is closed. In this case, this one is closed because I know I saw one that wasn't closed. So once you have confirmed that it's closed, you're going to pick up your jump ring like so, and you just pass it through this hole. Now you also have to consider when you're choosing your jump ring, also consider the size of the loop of your earring loop, the size of the loop. Yeah. Now we're also going to attach one of the chains. Once we attach the chain, just close it up. So close it up like so, and until you hear the clicking sound, which I just heard, and you have this part attached. Now you have this part attached to your earring bill. Don't mind the color. I'm just using what I have to create. So now the next thing we're trying to do now is to make our to do our wire wrapping around our bead. So since I already made my loop the first time, I don't think I want to waste my wire. I am just going to cut what I think is going to be enough for what I'm trying to make. So I'll just cut it out. Now I'm just going to put it in. So I'll put my bead in my wire. I'll put my wire in my bead like so. And you're going to take either your round nose plier or your flat chain nose plier and kind of create like a 90-degree angle to the opposite side for the wire wrapping. So now you have this for your wrapping. Now, the next thing you're going to do is get your round nose plier, holding it like this. You're going to do this now. So now we just do this and push it to the side. Then use your finger to hold this. Now, because I'm attaching it to the chain, I'm going to just, before I close it up, I'm going to slide my chain into it, or else I would have to use a jump ring, and I don't want to use a jump ring to attach it to the chain. So I'm just going to attach it like, slide it into it like so, and this is what it's going to look like. So when you attach it, you get your flat nose plier, your chain nose plier, and you hold this. You hold it together with the chain just so it doesn't move, and you just roll, you wrap it round like this, as you can see. So I think I left too much space, but that's fine. Ow. This is why I like to work with long wires. So I left too much space, but that's fine. I'm just going to have to make sure the other one I make is the same. So once you wrap it round, if you're able to wrap it more than this, go ahead, but please, that was painful for myself. So I'm just going to cut off this excess wire here. When I cut off the excess wire, I'm going to close it up using my chain nose plier. Just to close it up, make sure, and there you have it. You've made your first earring. Now, in case you're trying to make double, another design that you can decide to do is make double of the chain. So that means you're just going to attach maybe a shorter chain or a longer chain to it, depending, and you pass it through the jump ring again, and you have something like this. So you can decide to, if it's a shorter chain, so you can decide to, you have something like this. So you can decide to, if you're using a shorter chain, like, let me make this shorter. So you can do this, and you can decide to add one more of this bead or something else. You just have to think and try to make your work very creative, very different, and it doesn't have to be exactly the same as this, but I'm just teaching you a very simple earring that you can make. You can just make this so fast. So it's because I'm explaining this to you that it's taking this long. This earring doesn't take time to make at all. Like, it's very easy to make. So now once you've done that, you are done with your the first part of the earring. So now the next thing we're going to do is repeat the process and create the second part of the earring. So like I said again, we'll just pick up one of our jump rings, and we're going to open and close our jump rings like I have said previously. So we're just going to adjust this here, this better now, and we're going to open and close it like this. Just open it first. You don't have to wiggle it so many times when you're opening your jump ring. So you just insert your earring hook and you insert your chain. Since I need to insert both of them either ways, then you close the jump ring by wiggling it back and forth, like I said, like this. Trying to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, like this, and to hear that clicking sound. And there you have it. So now that we've done that, so now we have our chain, and our next thing we're going to do is create the wire wrapping for our beads. So you're just going to get your round nose plier, and you're going to create your loop. I just hope it's the same size because I didn't take note of the same size. And you create your loop like this. So you've put it to this angle now. Just next thing we're just going to do is just try to adjust it, just to make sure it looks loopy. It looks like a loop, like a perfect loop. Yeah. So it's going to look like this. So it's going to look like that. Now the next thing we're going to do now is to wrap our bead. So I hope it's the same size of what I did initially. So just going to wrap it like this and remove this. And can you see how I'm holding my plier? That's how you hold it to this side, not like this. Like this when you want to wrap or make a loop. So you hold it and you turn it to the other side. Use your finger to assist you. Now this is why it's good to cut it, because once you don't cut it now, it's going to stress you out just like this, and it's going to give you a funny look like that, just because of I didn't cut the excess part of the wire. So anyways, so the next thing you're going to do is, so we have to cut it regardless because of the chain, and we'll slide in our chain and we'll hold it just to make it go around. So you just go around. It's always, I think it's better to have excess wire than to not have enough wire. So you just need to cut this, and your excess wire you can just use to make quick jump rings. At least that's what I do. I just make quick jump rings with it. Now we're just going to close this. You just close it, just make sure that it's not pointing out, just make it look clean. And there you have it. You have your 2 earrings. And that's it. Just very simple, very simple, straight to the point, nothing too serious. That's it. Your beautiful, simple earring. So beautiful. I don't know, I've had these beads for years and I've never used it, so I figured I'll just use it to make a new earring for myself. And that's it. And that's it, guys. That is your earring. To be honest, it's very simple. Now you can use the methods I've taught you, the skills, or should I say the skills I've taught you to create other things. Now you can decide to create bracelets using this loop by attaching the same way, by creating your wire wrapping at the two sides, or by creating a loop here, adding your chain, create wire wrapping here, adding your chain, just to make beautiful bracelets, anklets, earrings, and necklaces too. But I would still use the same technique to make, I think, a bracelet that you can also turn to your necklace or whatever. And yeah, that's it for the video, guys. So let me know what you think in the comments. If you like the fact that I teach both a technique and a project together, or you want me to teach technique separately. But I think this is better because you're able to make use of the technique immediately.
You just made your first pair of drop chain earrings. Amazing. I know, right? Well, I want to believe that each and every one of you enjoyed this episode and you look forward to something new in the next one. But if you had any problem along the way during one of my explanations, just please hit me up in the comments and I'll be sure to either reply your comments directly or create a short video explaining what you have missed. So if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Also, don't forget to like this video. Also, drop your beautiful comments, as they will encourage me to continue to make beautiful videos like this for you guys. And yeah, so in the next video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make this gorgeous necklace that I have here. We're going to learn how to make this necklace using the loop technique, wire making loop technique. And trust me, guys, you guys are going to love it so much. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Please don't forget to subscribe if you're yet to subscribe, and don't forget to give me a shout out and send it to your friends. And when you make your own piece of jewelry, please don't forget to tag me on Instagram. I'm going to put my socials for you to see on Instagram, TikTok, and that's it, guys. See you guys in the next video, and don't forget to stay creative. Love. Bye.